Alright, welcome back to the series. This time we are going to cover the drop-down navigation. As usual, we're going to go over the WordPress backend and the code behind. So let's take a look at it. This is the drop-down. As you can see, this has a header portion of it, a body, and a footer. And before we go into detail, we also need to mention that this drop down also becomes the mobile navigation for the site. To test it out, let's go here, and this is how it changes. And now let's go back to the standard pro size, and at first we're going to cover this menu button and its transition. Special thing about it is that there was no jQuery used here, just a pure ES6 JavaScript and CSS, and right now that's what we're going to look at. Alright, so let's start with the main four parts that makes this navigation happen. Is the main template, which can be found here under the themes, the theme name, and then this module, and right here this is the main template, and it is actually called in right here on the header, main theme header, and with the get template part, and from this exact same folder we're bringing this guy in. And then the other two parts are the styling, CSS, and the JavaScript. Now let's focus on the actual template structure here. It starts out right here, and it has, as described before, a header all the way down to here and a main body. This goes all the way down up to here, and then a footer. As we can see right here, this header, the body, and the footer. Alright, so now let's focus on the JavaScript part. This is a pure ES6 related JavaScript, and this is where I'm first pulling in this page ID. As you can see here, this is where it's coming from. Right here, and I am calling the whole template right here, right above that. As we can see, if we visit the header, right here, that's why it's coming right above the page ID. So in here I'm calling in the page, the full page, and then this hamburger button, the drop down nav button. Now where this class can be found, let's go look for it. Right here, this is the drop down, the main menu, and right here I added the classes. These are for font awesome, so that it actually looks like this. And then just to isolate this, I'm dropping this class here so that I can actually call this guy in. And then comes the drop down menu window, which is the main body of it. Drop down navigation, it's another ID right here. And then I'm calling in the close button, which is this guy right here. All right, now since we identified all those, now let's go add some events. And right here, the hamburger button, getting an add event listener, the click, and I'm calling in the menu open, and this is the function. This is where first what I'm doing, I'm removing the menu close class, which is right here. And to find what this class actually means, let's go find where the classes are. Right underneath right here. So by default it has a menu close in there, right there, menu close, and menu close has the height to 0. And once the button is clicked, I'm replacing it with menu open, which gives it 100% height. And the transition actually happening right above, right here, this nice little one-liner. Since we are changing only the height, we are making sure the height has this transition added to it, 0.5 seconds. That's why whenever this hamburger button is getting this click, it's changing, it's replacing the menu close with menu open, and at the same time I'm adding another class called box close, which is being added to the full page, which is the actual page that is in the background. So what's happening is the box close is actually adding a display none to it. So what happens is once this drops down in the back, I'm actually disappearing this body, this whole website right here, because if I didn't, then if this dropped down, you could actually go down and see the body. So at the same time, I am removing the menu close class and adding menu open, which is giving the whole navigation this 100% height, and at the same time it is actually disappearing the rest of the body, which is this guys, with one click, right? And exact opposite is happening when this close button is clicked right here. Drop down menu window close button, and in here we're adding this event listener, click, and we're calling menu close. We come here and we're doing exact reverse. We're now removing the menu open, which had the 100% height, adding the menu close, which is giving it a 0 height, and at the same time what was doing a display none to the background body, now it is actually giving it a display block. So as soon as I click here, the drop-down navigation getting a 0 height and disappearing, and this guy getting a display block and coming back. So that's the mystery behind this whole drop-down menu transition. And next we're going to look into these main template part by part, starting with header and then body and the footer.